Hi, I'm Maya.
Hi, Maya. Now that I see that there's a lot of people here, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Um, well, as I told you a couple of seconds before, my name is Juanita Leal. I am from Colombia. I'm a soprano. I have been in the US for about 4 years. I came here to do my master's in vocal performance. I'm also doing an artist diploma. I graduated, of course, of vocal performance back in Colombia. And I have my own studio, the Vox Lab Voice Studio. And throughout the pandemic, specifically during the pandemic, I started to get my studio mostly online because, of course, I mean, that was the case for most of us, right? It was the only choice that we had to continue our studios. A lot of students were really picky with voice lessons, specifically voice lessons in person. In Colombia, it was very restricted. And ever since I started gaining, students, as most of you, I'm sure, students from all over the place, right? You start having an online platform, and suddenly the world kind of opens up. Um, and for me, at least, the whole teaching online always presented a couple of problems that I found. I tried Google Meet, I tried Teams, I was an OG Skype user. Now, rest in peace, now that it's no longer there.
No, it doesn't work anymore. Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like always all of those had specific like issues that I had a tough time with. Um, but outside of that, we're going to be talking about MOOZ as a platform, of course. When we talked about this partnership with the MOOZ team, I was excited to do it because I've actually found it really, really useful. At the beginning, of course, I was trying it out, but now I've used it for, it's going to be a year, around a year, in August, I believe. And I've actually found it so useful for teaching voice, specifically with piano accompaniment, with backing tracks, with all of those good things that we do in our lessons. And of course, if you're an instrument teacher, then that's another whole level of frequencies that most microphones are not used to capturing. The software also gets finicky. So we're gonna talk about MOOZ. I honestly believe in talking from what has worked the best for me. That's the reason why I agreed to do this. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share the presentation that we have prepared for you. Um, and to begin this fun conversation, we are going to be giving away at the end of this presentation um, MOOZ subscriptions for all of you guys that stay here until the end. And so the first thing that I'm going to ask you to do is start putting your emails in the chat here in Zoom, because we're going to be doing a giveaway at the end, and you're going to be luckily, if you're the lucky winner, you're going to be getting 40% off of the MOOZ annual subscription. Okay. So if you want to go ahead and type in your email, we're going to do questions at the end. So I would suggest, if you can, muting your microphones, just so if you have to do a couple of things here and there, so that there's no interruptions. And here we go. So if you have questions, I would suggest writing them down, or whatever you feel more comfortable with, so we can answer them in the end, right? Um, so I've been one of the people that has had one of these lessons, right? Where we start the lesson, my singer starts singing, and especially we singers, that we make weird sounds all the time. uh, the microphones would always suppress those sounds, right? So, and suddenly I cannot hear the frequencies that my students are producing. My students cannot hear me very well. I have to like up the level of the piano, like the volume of the piano, so that my students can hear the piano, what I'm playing. And sometimes they don't even hear all that well because a lot of these softwares are masking some of these frequencies that even a piano is producing, let alone a guitar, a flute, a violin, whatever it is that you teach, right? There's problems with hearing. There's some people that struggle with their microphones, with the setting. If you use Zoom, which is, it's very interesting because right now we're on Zoom, but we're talking about MOOZ. If you're on Zoom, we have to do like the manual setup of everything, and so it seems like a lot, right? You lose a lot of time of your lesson. Sometimes if you teach 30-minute lessons, you lose a lot of time in the lesson just in the setup. And that is a huge disadvantage with a lot of these apps. Some of them don't even have the setup so that you can hear your student well enough, right? And so here's a couple of examples of what happens, for example, in platforms like Zoom, and the difference with MOOZ, the difference in sound quality. So let me know if you hear, if you can just do a thumbs up if you hear the audio of the video. Let's...
And you'll be flown.
Perfect.
Good look in the eye, just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You flow like a faucet. Beautiful. Special. You're so fucking special. But I'm all
So, so many things so different already, right? A lot of those, not only the accompaniment of the guitar, not only the quality of his voice, but also dynamic range. Where? Right? Dynamic range is nowhere to be found. The quality of the voice, we don't hear the accompaniment on his own guitar that much or that well. And that is, I mean, we're missing so much of the music, and that is something that we're teaching, right? So, and sometimes some of those mistakes that we make as, you know, as music teachers, especially online, especially with the switch, by this point we're acclimated pretty much, but during the pandemic it was kind of a nightmare, I feel like, for a lot of us. Sometimes we think that the platform is not as important, that the software is not as important. We're of course prioritizing the lesson, right? The artistry, what the singer, what the musician, what the student is doing, and what we're doing. But a lot of that quality has to do with the platform that you're using, of course. With the quality of sound that it has, even with the quality of video. Something that happened to me when I switched to MOOZ is that I started seeing my students clearer too. So there's a lot of things to be desired of so many of these other platforms that are not targeted specifically for teaching music online, right? So in MOOZ, what's so wonderful about MOOZ? What are some of the things that I love about this platform? First of all, we have, my favorite ones are these two, 1 and 4. Of course, this is for singers, right? I teach singers. Playing the backing tracks and accompaniments in sync with the student. This is one of the reasons why I started using MOOZ. I was like, this is what I need, because I would have to ask my singers to play on another device their backing tracks so that I could listen to them with their backing tracks in real time, right? If I were to play it on my side, it would not be in sync with them. So that was a problem, of course. And the point four, that's one of my other favorite features, is that I can connect my piano, my MIDI piano, without a sound card, without any of this huge setup that we would normally need for a MIDI piano to be connected. We don't need a huge interface. You can just connect your MIDI piano through USB to your computer, and that's it. And the app does the rest, right? Those are my two favorite ones. But the other ones that we have on MOOZ are, for example, you can adjust the tempo and the pitch in real time. So say that you have a backing track of some sort, and then you want to change the key, you would go up or down, and it automatically adjusts the pitch. We also have the tempo, how fast, how slow it's going. So that's also wonderful, especially if you're first trying to figure out where to play or how to play something for your students. We also have the adjustments in tempo and beats with the built-in metronome. You have a built-in metronome. You can, if you're working on rhythm with your students, which a lot of them need to really practice on keeping a consistent beat, on rhythm, right, on how everything falls on that beat, then this feature is wonderful. You can select whether the bar marking is a 4/4 or 3/4 if you're hitting ta 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 with the strongest beat, or if you just want like a consistent one beat. That's also wonderful. And with all of these, you can hear your student in sync too. So if you're selecting the listening to your student synchronized with what you're playing, then you can listen to the student in sync. And then this is also really useful, especially for instrumentalists. I feel like being able to share the materials instantly. Sheet music mainly, of course. For my singers, if I have lyrics that I want to share with them, I just share with them, and I can also write live, like in the little screen, the notes that I have for them, for example. So that's really, really useful. And it almost makes it feel like you're having an in-person lesson in a way. Here we have another video about all these features and how the interface kind of looks in the app. So here you go. You have the cameras, you have the tracks. That's if you want to switch the tempo. Then we have the online piano, and this is wonderful because you can open up the scales here. You have like almost like a full-size piano, and the good thing is that the students are also seeing the keys, which keys you're playing, and so they get, for the students that are more visual than anything else, it's wonderful because they can very clearly see, okay, this is what is being played, these are the notes. If I'm practicing, which notes is my teacher playing? For the pianists, this is especially wonderful, of course, because no more of like, I'm gonna have to do a whole setup so that my students can see which keys I'm playing, but you can only focus in focus in fingers, right? So you're going to use this fingering for this line, and then if they need to see the notes, they can just look at the online piano, right? Because sometimes the fingers can cover the keys, and depending on the angle, the students are going to have a tough time seeing which key is being played, right? So this is another wonderful feature. Here we have the built-in metronome that I told you about earlier. So which tempo marking you desire. For each of these features, and this is something that I also find quite good about this app, is the fact that you can control the volume for all these specific features. So you can adjust the volume of how you hear your own accompaniment, so that if the sound is sounding too loud, the track is sounding too loud, and the student is sounding a little farther away, then you can just lower the volume of the track for yourself. The student is going to hear it the same, so that you can hear the student better. You can also adjust the volume of the metronome. You can adjust the volume of the piano on its own, so that you are prioritizing the person that you're teaching right there and then. We can draw directly over sheet music, like I told you, which I find so good. I'm really bad at it, but I find this really good. There you go. You can change colors, whatever you need to do here, whichever markings. You can write text. You have a highlighter, an eraser, everything, right? Pretty much like when you're teaching in person. You can share your screen, of course. You can write on top of the screen that you're sharing. By this point, this is also another wonderful feature about MOOZ, and that is the fact that you can connect up to 5 different cameras to the app. So, for example, in this case, it's a drummer that's kind of like showing different angles of the drum set to help them see what is being played.
Yeah. So this sound, this one.
I haven't used that feature that much, but I feel like for a lot of instrumentalists, for a drummer, of course, it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. Yeah. And then the other interactive tools. We have the chat there. Adjustment of microphone, adjustment of camera, all of those good things that help us see each other better, hear each other better. The quality of video too. The quality is pretty good. With the microphone calibration, the student, and I guess you are making sure that you're hearing the student the best and that the student is hearing you the best. Because of all of this that's already built in the app, you have immediate access to contacting support. Whenever I started using this app, the app was like barely starting, I think, and I would contact support all the time, and they're pretty quick at responding if you have anything that needs answered. We have some testimonies. You can find this online, I'm sure. I feel like I'm giving you a lot of testimony right now. Here is something that, of course, a lot of us are wondering about, which is the different subscription plans that MOOZ has. The free version that has no limit in lesson duration, that has a pretty good sound quality. I started with free. We have audio without muting or frequency cuts, designed specifically for online music lessons. That's the standard of what MOOZ is. That we have advanced. Advanced is 23 per month. You can only, for this, you would only be able to teach 3 students per month. And then with the professional, which is what I've been using for almost a year, you have all the access to all the good tools that we saw during this presentation. 35 per month. I believe that the yearly rate of MOOZ is $315 for the entire year. But for today, if you've already put your email down in the chat, we're going to do a wheel of names. We're going to choose the person who wins the 40% off on a yearly subscription. I believe that it goes down from $315 a year to $240 or something like that. So let's get started with this. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment just so that I can see all of your emails and all of it. And again, if you have any questions, we're gonna do a Q&A at the end. It's a lot of you. I love this. I was not expecting so many people here, but I am so happy. While I copy and paste all of your amazing emails, because again, it's so many people. Tell me what you think so far of the app, of what we've talked about.
Sounds great.
Yeah, right. I think for me it was a game changer. I had one student that I could never hear her in the lessons. I was like, I think it was like a configuration of her computer or something like that. And I could never hear her in her lesson. And we started using MOOZ, and that was the first time that I was ever able to hear her clearly. The good thing is that I had worked with her in person prior to that, so I kind of knew what her voice needed. But of course, everything changes with a process, right? So yeah, I really like
I
it.
have a question. I need to
I have a
go.
whole bunch of questions. So.
Yeah, I know that you all have a bunch of questions. I know.
No, I think two questions, and then I will shut up. The first thing is, let's say I have multiple students. Does student also need subscription of MOOZ?
No. For students, this app is completely free.
Okay, and let's say there are multiple students. Can I conduct a group session with multiple students?
So right now, that's not a possibility. But I had a meeting with the team, with the MOOZ team this morning, actually, and they told me that by June, that they're working on that, and that most likely by June, that's gonna be a possibility.
My last question. I conduct an online competition and on-site. It's called International Indian Icon Global Talent Show. I put my website also there. Let's say if we are doing show online, a lot of participants from all over the world join. Can we do production, because Zoom allow multiple hundreds of participants to join? MOOZ will not. Then can we use a combination of MOOZ and Zoom? Does it allow that?
That is a question that I think would be better asked directly to the MOOZ team. At the end of this, I'm gonna write down an email that you can contact so that you can ask all of these questions. And this is going to be recorded, and the MOOZ team is going to receive this recording, and they're gonna give you an answer to some of these questions if I don't have the resources to answer them in about a day.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're very welcome. Okay, so I've got all of your name or all of your emails here. I'm gonna share again, and you can tell me if I've got all of the emails correctly, if there's something that needs adjustment, so that we can do the fun giveaway. Okay. I'm gonna keep answering questions after we do the wheel of names, just so I know, because I know that a lot of you have more questions. So I saw all of these emails. Do you see your email, and are they correct?
Yep. It's good.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Anybody else?
No, mine is not on there.
Okay, let me double check.
It's GMOM 007.
Okay. Did you write it in the chat?
No, I came on late.
Oh, can you write it in the chat so I can directly copy and paste it?
Okay, so you want me to write my email, not my name? Okay.
Yeah, your email. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Because you're gonna be sent all of the information about this in an email. And just anybody else that wants to like double check their email to check that everything is correct.
Okay, I did it.
Perfect. I've got it. I've got it right here. Amazing. That's the last one that we have. Okay, so I'm gonna click to spin and let's get it. Whoa! There you go.
Before
Congratulations,
last
we've got the last one.
I'm glad I got it in there. Woo.
There you go. Okay, perfect. I am going to save this. I'm going to stop sharing. So what you're going to receive at the end of this, you're gonna be contacted after this session by the MOOZ team to get all of your goodies. But the good thing is that this is not the end. Not only you win something, everybody in this wonderful group that has been truly wonderful. I love all of your guys' like energy and vibe. You're gonna be able to get the sweet discount. I'm gonna copy a link that is going to be up only for 48 hours to get the discount. I just sent it in the chat. You can all save that link, and that link gets you 40% off of the yearly subscription. So you all win.
So we're all winners.
Exactly. We're all winners. We're all winners. Perfect. So keep in mind that this link is only going to be up for 48 hours. The first 10 buyers that use the link that I just sent you get a free one-on-one MOOZ consultation and training session and custom plan tailored to your specific needs. So if you want somebody from the platform to help you navigate it and to, tell you how it all works, the first 10 people that use the link that I just sent you, you're gonna be able to get that assisted initiation on how MOOZ works. And okay, now that we've covered all of the good things, please ask me the questions that you have. Yes, Chris.
Okay. when you showed yourself writing on the scores and writing on the screen, can you save that, like that screenshot to send, or can your students save it with all of their notes on it?
That's a great question, actually. I have not tried to save it. That's a wonderful question.
I mean, I guess
Yeah,
just do a screenshot, right?
they can do a screenshot. I believe they can do a screenshot. But I do believe, well, one day like I told you, I haven't been able to use that feature a lot. But I believe one of the times that I used it, I believe it got saved with the notes. But perhaps I'm inventing it because I haven't used it that much. But that is a great question that I'm gonna ask the team at MOOZ to see if it can be answered. Perhaps on the Facebook group for this event, I can get them to answer some of these questions if I cannot. Yes.
And
Any other?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have a bunch. I don't mean to.
No, that's perfect. That's what you're here for.
Now we can record in this, right? We can record the
Yeah,
lesson.
you
And
can record.
Where does that go? Does it have a place in the cloud like Zoom does, or do we have to save it to our computers?
So the good thing is that both you and your student can record. If you record, it will get saved on your computer on a specific folder on your computer. If your student records it, it's gonna be saved on their computer.
Okay. Can we let it save to like our Google Drive or something, or no? It has to
So
be-
I have it, yeah. So I have, for example, I use OneDrive, and so I have a specific folder with the MOOZ recordings that is automatically like uploaded to my OneDrive. So when it gets saved, I just press save, it gets saved in that folder, and it automatically goes to that OneDrive folder that all my students have access to, so they can download the recordings.
Okay, so you got to save it on your computer first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let someone go for. I have more, but I'll let someone go. Have a chance. So, go ahead.
Yes, Joanne.
I have a question. How do the backing tracks get uploaded onto the platform?
So you're gonna save them on your computer. You're gonna have them ideally, and when you there's a feature that you can. Okay, let me see if I can start MOOZ. So you can select the file that you wanna upload from your computer, so that it gets saved, so that it gets uploaded into MOOZ. The good thing is that once it gets uploaded into MOOZ, that is a file that is in like a cloud of sorts. So it won't be deleted from the app. It will get saved on the app. And if you're doing a lesson, I don't know, from another computer and you access MOOZ, you can access the recordings that you already uploaded into the MOOZ cloud, I guess.
Okay.
And is
Can I
it
add?
the same with sheet music? You have to upload each item individually and then
Yeah.
it's stored in the cloud.
Yeah.
Not sharing your. I thought it was just sharing your screen that you were doing.
You
that.
can share you can so you share your screen for XYZ, but if you want a specific PDF that you want your student to have, you have to upload it too. If you want them to see it really clearly.
Oh, okay.
Have something to add, if I could.
Yep.
I found it was really easy to do this. I've had a lot of other issues with MOOZ, but to upload the files, you can create a file for your individual student with that person's name on it. And so whether it's sound files or if it's PDF files or whatever, you can keep that all organized in a file. Like I have a cousin that I'm teaching. I'm in California. I'm teaching him guitar in Minnesota, and his name is Henry. So I have a Henry file.
So I'm gonna screen share this for reference in MOOZ. so that you all can see what's going on. So this is the MOOZ platform. See how I have all of these files with the different names. So if I have the backing track for this person, this is a particular student, I can just select it and play. And this is for the backing tracks, but that also applies for the sheet music if you want to upload sheet music.
And is there a do we have a limit as to how much we can store?
No, I believe that the MOOZ Cloud has a limit in storage of I cannot remember how many gigabytes you can store.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
it's in the gigabytes. It's not in megabytes. So
No, it's not in megabytes. It's in gigas.
okay.
I have a Maya raised hand.
Yes, thank you. So my question is, can you play an instrument or sing at the same time as your student is playing and singing and hear them while you're playing and singing?
So you can play and sing at the same time with a track, but your student won't be in sync with you, so you won't hear them synchronized with you. But if you want the student to be synced with a track, that's why the synchronized sound toggle is for. However, you won't be able, for example, if you're playing your piano, looking to accompany your student, then that you won't hear them in sync. Like if they want to sing with you, you'll hear the delay.
I see. Okay, so that's similar to Zoom in that sense.
Yeah.
You had mentioned something about the advanced being only 3 students per month. So if I have weekly students, if I have a weekly lesson with a student, then I can only see them 3 times in that month if I do the advance?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, it's not 3 students every
And
week.
the basic, what's
I think it's 3 students every week. With the basic, I honestly, I cannot remember what the basic was.
But it's,
Hold
it
on, let
didn't
me open
mention
this up.
anything about students
because it didn't
with
say
that.
lessons, it said students. It didn't say 3
Students,
lessons
yeah.
per month. It said 3 students per month.
Yeah, it was, yeah, 3 students per month, you're correct.
So most lessons are every week, I would think. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's exactly to my point, that they would only be able to have 3 lessons a month instead of 4, unless you do the professional, which has no limits, I would
Yeah.
assume,
Yeah.
and so forth.
but I think it's not like that. I think it's 3 students per month. So
3 students per month.
For
Yeah.
the
3 lessons per month.
advanced,
3 students per month. Yeah. So,
So 3 students with a lesson every week.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's
Okay.
12.
And-
So that's basically 12 lessons in the month
Yep.
that you're allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
do the students get the link similar to Zoom
Yeah.
when you want them to sign on? Because they don't have to have a subscription, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you share your link. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But then they do have the app. So
Okay.
it's not going to open up in the browser.
Yeah, it's not going to open up in the browser. It's going to have to be with the app. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I think that would, I had another question, but I don't, go ahead
I
and
think Jack has a question.
ask someone else. I don't want to keep you.
Yes. More
Thank you.
questions. Yeah,
So-
thank you.
This is Jack. So if I have 10 students a week, I must get the professional, yes?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yep.
Makes sense.
that's the case.
I've got a question about the volumes that
Yes,
you
Chris.
talked about, how you're able to have different volume settings for instrument or for voice or whatever. Does the student have that capability too? Like,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can change.
They can even adjust your volume on their like side of the platform.
Yeah, that's what I
How
was
louder, yeah. Mhm.
compared to like the backing track or whatever.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay. And another thing. So right now, I teach piano, and I have an overhead camera that takes a picture of my keys. But I have another piece of software so I have, you know how you have the keys, the layout of the keys. Well, I have that and my piano, like one right on top of the other, so that you can see both together.
Yep.
We be able to, like, can we position the like where we want our cameras to show up on the screen the same way you can with, well, I do actually, what I do is I use OBS,
Yep.
so I can line it up wherever I want it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you use OBS with this?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I just did it once, but it does show up, it just show OBS as an option for a camera.
Okay. So, okay. And then it would be, so does the keyboard display always come up on the bottom of the screen the way you had it?
Yep.
Okay. And that's not movable. That's always at the bottom.
Yeah, that's always at the bottom. Mm-hmm.
All right. What else?
More questions? Yes, David.
I've got a question. Are they going to work on the lag time problem? Is that something they hope to address? Because that's the worst part of being online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Well, they have been working on that a little bit. Whenever the app first started, I pretty much saw that issue at the beginning of the app. They've worked on that a lot. I would say it's gotten much better.
Oh, so there is still some lag.
Yeah, I think every platform has its like ebbs and flows.
Yeah, I was hoping from the advertisements that the lag time was gone, that we could really, like, I could play live and the student could sing live
At the same time, and they would be in sync. Yeah. That's not
ready yet.
That's the only thing that is not
So I have to record my accompaniment and then play that recording, and then they would sing with the recording, and that would be in sync.
Yep.
I see.
Yep.
So I can't improvise anything on the moment.
Right.
I guess.
Because I teach ear training, but I also teach piano improvisation.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and so it's very difficult to do the improvisation.
Of course.
Can't play with the students at all, which is really a pain in the neck. Yeah.
It is.
So,
I totally understand.
That hasn't changed at all. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. And the metronome thing, if I start the metronome, then they will hear the metronome in time.
Yep.
I mean, okay.
If you activate the toggle of like for the student to be in sync with the metronome, that's when they're gonna be in sync. Like in sync with like the how do I say this? With the tracks and with all of the features of the app, then that's when you would hear them in sync.
But if I just hear them solo, without anything else, just hear them sight sing something, and I put the metronome on so that they are in sync with the metronome, will I hear that in sync, or will I hear that delayed?
You'll hear that in sync.
Okay. All right. That's a great benefit already.
Yeah.
Okay. That's already 1,000% more than what I get with Zoom.
Yeah.
The thing is that I think is with the metronome, when the student is in sync with the metronome, the metronome sound is what the student is hearing on the student's end. And so you're not setting, you're hearing the metronome, everything is delayed basically. By the correct amount, so that you're hearing everything together.
Okay.
So the metronome, the student is hearing the metronome earlier than you're hearing the metronome.
So
I'm sync with that student's playing.
Yeah. So I'm still behind, but what I'm hearing is in sync.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So
I
the
get it.
support-
I'm just trying to get my kind of head around this because I've always mostly done in person, and
Yeah. Of
I can
course.
see the value of these tools.
Yeah.
But I agree. The advertising for the product really, I thought it meant in sync playing.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
In
Me
real
too.
time.
So it's a little misleading.
A miracle.
Which is unfortunate. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing then, as well as the metronome. So if you're playing that online keyboard, and can you do the sync for that also? And they
Oh,
hear it?
yeah.
You know what I mean? So in other words, if you play the MIDI keyboard that's on the screen, but you have that sync button,
Yeah. So the sync is only an option for tracks for metronome. For tracks and metronome, basically. Yeah. So if you're playing, so say that I'm doing, it's almost the same as if I was doing,
right?
and then I'm singing with the piano, whatever, and they're hearing this, but it's gonna have the delay and the delay through the app.
There's still the internet delay.
Yep.
Still exists no matter
Yeah.
I
what.
was just
Okay.
thinking that what would be a great idea is if they're going to be listening, if the engineers are listening to this.
Yeah.
So with that MIDI keyboard, we play our keyboard here, right? We don't hear it like we hear it on a delay because the sound is not coming from our speakers, but from their speakers. You know what I mean? So if we play it, of course, we won't be, when we hit the key, the sound won't come until later, right?
Yeah.
If they can do that so that we're not going to hear the sound, only they hear the sound, then what we get back should be them singing with us in sync,
Yeah.
right?
That is a pretty good idea.
So if they could do that, that would be good.
I think the question is if I could do that, play the guitar and not hear it.
There
Yeah.
is, yeah, you can.
Ah, yeah, right.
Yeah, there's many.
I don't know. That sounds like the more difficult problem.
Yeah. But okay, hold on, folks. We're getting a little we're
getting
using
them
into
a
the
lot
future.
longer than I was told. I'm like, keep it 30 minutes and we're here 50 minutes.
No, sorry. We're done.
No,
I'm
you're
done.
You are so right. I mean, all of these questions are so important and so valid. And I do believe that it's so important for the people at the app to be listening to this.
I agree.
To be listening for what the teachers want. For me, I've been like, whenever I have a problem, I'm like, contact support immediately. I'm like, hey, this is a problem, and blah, 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 blah. And in the end, it is an app that is a software that is being developed still. I mean, I don't know how old it is, but I don't believe it's older than 2 years.
No, it isn't. Well, at the discount rate, it's worth it.
I feel like it
The rate
has a
that
lot
we
of
get,
options.
It is worth it, I think. It's at least worth working with for at least a year. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work with it for a year and get my students, in touch with it and see how they feel as well, because that makes a big difference. But
Yeah, that's something, and this is truly my opinion. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, but whenever I first tried it, I honestly was like, I don't even know if this is gonna work. like let's just give it a chance. And I paid it, and I was like, let's see. I was like, well, to do the same thing as Zoom, and then having people that are not as tech savvy and doing like the whole sound of like, can you turn original sounds for a musician?
Yes.
And they're
Just
like, but
that
where is
alone.
that thing?
Yes.
Where is that thing? The original sound for musicians. I
10
don't know.
minutes are
I don't
spent
find it.
online with just that.
Exactly. So I do believe that it's very useful. At least it gives you more of a visual tool. Of
Yeah.
course, for some of you that are like Chris, that you have already the very well put setup, it's easier. But some students find it so much easier to see like, oh, you're playing this key, and I see that when the key goes green when you play it. And so like it's a visual thing that they also have outside of seeing your fingers play it. So I do believe that it is worth giving it a try at least, and seeing what you think, what you feel, what you know, what your students think and feel.
Well, it's got to be better than Zoom. That's all I have to say.
For me personally, the whole point of it that was intriguing with MOOZ was the in sync part, where I thought I could sing or play or do both because it's coming from one source, and then they could do it at the same time, and I could hear them and play along with them and improvise with them at the same time, rather than hearing the delay or not hearing them at all.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. But yeah, I think that would be it for today. We've got all of your emails. Again, if you have more questions, you're more than welcome to contact MOOZ support. And yeah, and that would be it for today. Sorry?
Do they have telephone support?
No.
I don't. I haven't seen telephones. I believe the company is not based in the US. Yeah.
No, it's all online. The support is all online.
Yeah.
So OBS and MOOZ.
There's no human being who's going to talk to you about it. This is the only human being we will meet.
No, hold on. But to be fair, I have been in with one of the sales managers, Ilya, which is the one that contacted me. He's been like there. He's like, hey, it's Ilya from MOOZ. Can you tell me what's been wrong with the app? Can you tell me what we can improve? Can you tell me like, and it's a person. It's like, and I like, this is the person that I've been having like the video calls with.
Good to hear.
Yeah. So I believe that they try to, as best as they can, to hear people out.
Yeah. Well, at least they're involved and trying, which I don't think Zoom really is. And they don't care really about musicians whatsoever.
Yeah.
They're worried about big groups and
about the big companies.
Yeah, exactly. They're not worried about us. But so at least this is a program that is functioning to help us, which is nice to know. So I have to go. So
yeah, me too, and I imagine a lot of you too. So it was very, very nice to meet you all. You're gonna have the recording of this. You're gonna be able to access the recording of this. Yeah, and that's it. Remember that the link is only up for 48 hours.
Okay.
And
I already did it. It's okay.
Amazing. I love that.
Do it.
Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.